I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. We're going to be looking at love and relationships. I think what I'm going to do at the beginning here is we'll do a card for every sign. I don't always do that. And then we might look at some specific things that you're going through or generally speaking what's going on. So this is unique. I'm going to be guided by spirit and take it a step at a time. Before I get into all of that, let's say hi to Apollo, who is holding some space behind us. I know many of you like to see him. He's curious and ready to see what's coming through for love and relationships as well. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with Aries. And I think what I'm going to do with this, I could pull 3 for each sign. So for those that are in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy, or it's just single in general, we'll see what's coming through, just to kind of keep it capped at not too much. Let's see if that works. Because otherwise, if it's 4 times 12, that's a lot of cards to pull. So I try to keep it manageable. All right, let's begin with Aries. Okay, for Aries, let's see, for those of you that are currently in a relationship, yay. Let's look at those of you that are looking for love, single and happy, and I think that's pretty much it, yeah. There's not that many more categories, so yeah, we'll do 3 for each. Okay, so Aries, for those of you that are currently in a relationship, here's what I've got. We have the lovers coming through. This is actually a great time to go a little bit deeper in existing relationships. And the importance of this particular card is saying, hey, be there for each other. Face-to-face energy is more important. And it's not so much like what I'm getting here is like ships in the night. It's not so much about where you go or what you're doing. It's the together time that's the most important right now. In fact, before the reading, that was the first image that came through, was like ships in the night. So anything you can do to just share common goals, interests, and time together will be advantageous. This is a very connected card. So for those of you, it could go in either extreme here. You may also feel like you need a little space. So boundaries are also coming through. But I think finding the same time when you're both ready to sort of connect, that's the main message coming through. You can make it happen. You can create some healing. It's a very good card overall. Okay? So by the way, we're looking at this month, so whatever is left of September, but really even into the first week of October, because I'm looking at about 4 weeks. So that's for those of you in a relationship. If you're looking for love and you're Aries, what we have here, and I should leave it up so that people know which sign we're reading. So for those that are currently looking for love, there's a little bit of healing that needs to be done first. 5 of Pentacles in reverse shows that you're very close to finding that balance in your life. Literally 6 of Pentacles is balance. But right now, there could be some confidence issues, whether you're just on a rebound or haven't been experiencing the luck that you were hoping for, looking for love. It's saying, just take care of yourself one step at a time. And you want to be mindful as you pull in new people to make sure that they've done the work too. And again, the best way to make sure that that's happening is just to really focus on self-healing, self-confidence, etc. I'm also getting a timing issue for someone that you're interested in. They could have just gone through a significant challenge. Maybe someone in their life that they lost or a situation that was disappointing, and they're in the healing phase. Don't force the connection, okay? So this is more a period of healing and boosting self-confidence, and there's a cautionary note about entering into something too rapidly or too blindly without understanding, again, if both people are on the same page at the same time. Okay, for those of you that are single and happy, we have the Queen of Pentacles here, and what we're seeing here with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is that this is a great time to build things in your life, to ask for help if you need it. Some of you are good at helping everyone else but yourself, so definitely ask for something if you need it. And when we look larger than this, so when I'm looking at single and happy, we're also looking at strategic relationships, so I might kind of reemphasize that. What we're seeing here is a great opportunity in career to make some of those pivotal relationships. But Spirit is encouraging you to ask, well, what is in it for me? What is the, not in a selfish way, but like, what am I energetically, intellectually, on a soul and karmic level getting out of this experience? How does it align? That's better than saying, what's in it for me? How does it align to my goals and my vision? It's a much more elevated way to look at it, because if it isn't, then what are you doing, right? So this is a mentorship card, by the way. So some of you may be seeking out that mentorship or advisory sort of person in your life, and this is just confirming that. So overall, good energy for Aries. Again, we have 3 cards in front of us. We're looking at those of you in a relationship. It looks pretty good. If you're looking for love, you have to focus on self-healing. Also make sure that the person has done that. And then for everyone else, we're really looking at strategic relationships and asking for whatever it is that you need. So that is Aries. I'm going to move the cards now, and we're going to move from Aries to Taurus and see what's coming through for Taurus. All right. Taurus, we're going to start again with those in a relationship, looking for love, single and happy. All right. If you're in a relationship, Taurus, this is an interesting card because strength, one of my favorite cards for overcoming an obstacle, but in a relationship, sometimes it's a person that has a difficult time letting you do what you said you were going to do, or vice versa. There's a little bit of swooping in where some of you are feeling like, give me room to breathe. Or you're just worried, but I need to make sure that you don't mess up on this. So letting go of perfectionist tendencies, pushing back if your partner has them, giving one another space and room to do things, and most importantly, and it's hard when you're in a long-term relationship, but not having to be right or say that you're right or put words in the other person's mouth or let them put words in your mouth. Because this version of strength is what we want it to be. Easy peasy. Like a nice blend of the two. You can show up when you need it. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. You don't have to worry if someone's going to do it or not. Like, just trust until proven otherwise when it comes to the small stuff, because usually people can come through on that. Some of you are just tired. It's time for a break. And if you are the one that's been holding up the lion's share of the work, since we have a lioness here, then say, please help me with this. I need you to, I need your help on that. And it can be just more of delegation. You know, I'm exhausted. I need you to help. So it feels like there might be a little bit of overreaching or overstretching. And when it's truly a partnership, it's a nice blend, give and take, ebb and flow. Okay? Nice messages there. If you're looking for love, I mean, this is a wish fulfillment card, the 9 of Cups. It's saying, give yourself time. Don't jump in head first. Anytime I get a reversal, there's always that head over heels energy, but the 9 of Cups is an accentuated card when it comes to relationships overall. So for some of you, you could fall fast when you're meeting someone. There could also be your own sort of energy that you're bringing into a situation where you don't want to kind of like, on a first date especially, but like dump too much emotions or put too much on the table too quickly. Think of it like eating ice cream. If you eat it too quickly, you get a headache. It's like brain freeze. So that's kind of the image that Spirit's showing me, is the brain freeze. It's too much for the other party. So baby steps. And if there is a lot going on, let's say you just need some support, we're kind of now veering into the next category, but this could be spending more time with friends, spreading that energy over a larger group than just one person who might be overwhelmed, and maybe even working with a counselor or someone in your life that can help you if it's a lot. Typically with the 9 of Cups, there's a reminder that this is a punctuated or accentuated moment. Most of our life, we don't spend all the way up here or all the way down here. They're extremes. And so we don't want to do anything important in extremes, especially deciding on the overall status of a relationship. So easy peasy, easy does it. For those of you that are single and happy, so again, we're going to look at personal development, career development, and other aspects of your life. There's something for everyone in this reading. So the strategic relationships are coming through here. The 9 of Swords in reverse. So things are better than you think, especially because it came through reversed. With the 9 of Swords in reverse, often we just need to talk through something and check an assumption. And one of the best things that you can do with this is just, before you get upset about something, ask. Say, am I hearing you correctly? Or is this what we're doing? Or how about this? Like, start with a question, ask how you got to a particular point in time, and then slowly start to think about solutions, opportunities, look at the periphery. You're kind of walking yourself back from the cliff with the 9 of Swords in reverse. Delegation is ever so important. So for those of you who are possibly achieving a certain level of success, there may be this fear of, it could be imposter syndrome. Like, can I do it? How did I get this? Am I deserving of it? There might just be too much on your plate as well. So what we're really seeing here is the ability to assume the best, to delegate, and not to take on more than you need to. And there's actually kind of like a common theme here. So they were all reversed, but let's just look at them again. So if you're in a relationship, boundaries, and not sort of forcing things to happen at any given time. If you're looking for love, don't let your heart sort of like think too much for you. Like you need to kind of get your feet on the ground because we see emotional highs and lows that could be punctuating it. And then delegation, stress management, and asking questions to get through any of the assumptions that may be misleading there with that. Okay, we just did Taurus. We're going to move on to Gemini. Okay. By the way, you can look at this for your sun, rising, moon, Venus, any aspect of your chart. So whatever you feel, of course, Venus, but anything that you feel aligned to, you can look for your partner too, or for someone that you care about. It's kind of how that works, okay? So again, we're looking at Gemini. Let's see what's coming forth here. And I'll probably switch it up every 3 signs so we have some different decks that we're working with. I'll timestamp this later, so thank you for being patient while I get everything set up. Okay, so again, we're going to look at Gemini. Interesting. There we go with strength again. Okay, so Gemini. For those in a relationship, you know, I'm getting good vibes overall for relationships. We've got some really strong, positive energy with the lovers earlier. Now we have the Four of Wands. Even strength is good. Four of Wands, it's really leaning on the friendship part of being in love. So ideally, when you find your partner, they're your friend and your lover and your sort of like partner in life. So we're leaning on building the firm foundation beyond the bedroom, beyond the passion. It's the connection that holds you through ostensibly and hopefully until you're old and gray. So this is good. Really focus on the friendship part and be a good friend. And if someone wants to help you, your partner, let them help you. This is also creating safe spaces for one another because typically the Four of Wands is in the foreground instead of the background, but it's literally a space. And so letting the partner know that it can be safe, it can be fun, it can be helpful to be in your energy and really reinforcing that, like, we're here for each other, for better, for worse, and everything in between. I love it. If you've been in a long-term relationship, but it hasn't been solidified, this is true of both Aries and Gemini. This could be a moment where you're ready to take it to the next level because lovers and Four of Wands are very compatible in that way. So I like that. I like this quite a bit. And it just shows me that it's time for things to get a little bit easier, but it is the two of you. We're really leaning into partnership and making sure that you're both doing what you need to and giving each other the chance to be there. Because that is hard sometimes, right? To ask for help or show a sign of vulnerability or weakness, but that's what it's all about. So there you go. Moving on from those that are partnered to those that are seeking partnership, rather. Very interesting here. We got 2 cards. The first one can show a return of an old friend, lover, or acquaintance. And it could be anything because there were 2 cards here. So you may need to deal with that karma first. Some of you may be looking at that and thinking, is this my chance? So maybe someone is recently available or showing interest and they haven't before, and you're kind of sorting that out on your own heart level. How do I feel? It's a great time to travel, take a trip, or move. 8 of Cups is a travel card. It's making and breaking cycles. It's second chances. So all of those things could come into play when we're looking at relationships. The 7 of Wands in reverse, very interesting. One of you may feel more intense emotions than the other. And it's important to take contextual and maybe just not so subtle clues. If someone is not showing the same interest, don't force it. Because this is a super polite 7 of Wands, right? The person's just hoping that you get the hint. And it could be either way, like flirtatiously or like, I'm not into this. So either way, like focus on the body language and then focus on the language. No always means no. But if you notice someone that is hesitating and wanting to connect with you or something, you could just say, do you want to talk? Is there something on your mind? You can help initiate that because I definitely pick up on a little bit of that too. But typically, if someone also in your own life isn't getting a hint, be blunt. So I'm going to show like the traditional 7 of Wands, but sometimes people will keep pushing and they hope that you'll eventually acquiesce and say yes. But if you don't feel the connection, this person is like, how many times do I have to say no? Sometimes what happens with that 7 of Wands is you might just have to block, unfollow, or disconnect, especially if there's like been a dating site or something like that. If someone isn't getting the clue and you've been kind, you've been direct, cut it off. Because that's someone who always is going to have issues with boundaries, and you don't want that, okay? But otherwise, getting away from a current situation, like some distance, some perspective, while you're out and about, you could just bump into someone with the 8 of Cups. All right, now taking a look at those of you that are single and happy. Now we have an upright strength card. For those of you that say, you don't shuffle enough, yes, I do. Sometimes they're upright, sometimes they're reversed. So here we have upright, which is saying you're in a perfect zone right now to embody leadership, to work on inspiring other people if you want to. This is a great mentor card. It's also showing healing overall and a chance to start to attract friends, connections, partnerships that are on the level. Someone who is in the same sort of frequency of not having to prove themselves, being able to sort of like voice their opinions. It's a really great energy. It's divine feminine. So what are you going to put this passion into? What are you going to nurture? What are you going to foster right now? There could be a Leo coming in too. I forgot to mention that before. Okay. Great stuff coming forth for Gemini. We're going to move on now to Cancer next. So let me go ahead and switch up the decks here for Cancer. For those in a relationship, for those looking for love, and single and happy. All right, so we're going to start off, again, looking at Cancer. With those currently in a relationship, we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. You can make it through just about anything, but right now what I'm picking up on for one or both partners is this feeling of stress. A lot of times the 9 of Wands can show like a headache, pressure, and this feeling of you're not quite there, but the 10 of Wands feels like you have the weight of the world on your back. So someone that's just about at a pressure breaking point. So in a relationship, you can sometimes step in and ask, is there anything that I can do to help? Rather than assuming that they need help in something or doing it automatically, always ask. And then creating other things, other spaces in the relationship where it's going to be easier. Just say, I know you had a long day. I went ahead and ordered in, or I cooked dinner, or if you're open, I'd like to book an appointment for you tomorrow for like a massage or something. You can try to do little things to help each other. And then again, delegation has been a big part of what we've been looking at across these different relationships readings. So, ask for help if you need it. This also is about perseverance. And for many of you, we're at a point right now where if there's been some challenges in the relationship, I feel like you can persevere or push through it. So really trust in the longevity of the relationship, but you might need to get some space so that the ability to focus is there in the long run, okay? Now let's move on to those that are looking for love. The Queen of Cups, of course, there could be a water sign coming in, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but the Queen of Cups in reverse is saying that you or the other party may need or want a little bit more than the other party. So a consistent theme, I always love that as I do sort of like a bunch of signs at once, which I don't always do. You can see the common themes. So don't force the connection. Take care of yourself first and foremost. The other party may really want to get into a relationship quickly. So you want to make sure that you're there. And I talked a little bit about that emotional, like putting it, it's almost like a dump truck, putting it all down on the table at once. We don't want to do that too much too fast, like the 9 of Cups. So the same sort of energy here. Just increase sensitivity, by the way. So I would encourage you not to take things overly personal, to ask before assuming something. And, if someone doesn't get back to you immediately, or if they seem off, you never know what the conversation was or the day was before you had your interaction. So always ask. I think that's a really good key in all the relationship reads here, is to ask. Of course, it's you, Cancer, too. This is you. take care of yourself and make sure that you're happy. It's not just about finding a partner. I mean, literally, I prefer the word partner than lover. Lover's good. But with partner, we're showing that you're, hand in hand. It was like that Four of Wands I showed a couple of minutes ago. Friends and lovers. So for this one, making sure that you're getting enough out of whatever this new relationship might be. That it's not just love or it's not just friendship. It's the beautiful blend of the two. I think that is kind of a nice theme that's coming through as well. Okay. That's pretty much everything for this. If you're single and happy, well, yes, you are. We have the Fool card. This is about exploring new things. You may be starting a new endeavor. You might be moving. You might want to travel. You're also feeling this sense of weightlessness, like there's nothing tethering you. And that is totally single and happy. This would be like the epitome of that. It's saying, I want to embark on something new. So what's the next page in your journey, Cancer? What do you want to bring about? This is a vagabond card, but in this particular deck, she has a school of fish around her, but normally it's the little dog, like mine. So you may be looking for different types of connections, more on a friendship level, more on a sort of like casual level, but that's still a connection. So think about where you might be fleshing that out, what you might be wanting to embark upon. I think it's a great time to begin something brand new. Okay? Let's now move from Cancer to Leo. Leo, you've been showing up a lot with all the cards because I keep getting strength. So let's take a look and see what's coming forth. All right. Looking at Leo, looking at those in a relationship, looking for love. Wow, okay. And those that are single and happy. Oh my gosh. This is why I change up decks. It is interesting when we get the similar cards coming through. But one step at a time. Leo, if you're in a relationship, it's pretty good. Temperance is good. Here's the thing with Temperance. Some of you are just super busy. I love that we have this multidimensional being where she's trying to do everything at once. She's neither here nor there. So kind of what I was talking about at the very beginning with Aries, being able to ground yourself and be at the same place at the same time as your partner is really key. Temperance is also about beginning something. So you see her dipping her foot in the pool of possibilities, and usually there's one foot that's on the ground. So I was just talking about the Fool. This is a very empowered and measured and successful beginning, because it's saying, all right, I know where I am. I know what I want to do, where I want to be next. I'm going to take a little half step with minimal risk, and then we're going to see what's possible. So again, thematically looking at taking it to the next level, some of you might be trying to figure out if the partner's on the same page. This is a little tepid. This is a little bit lukewarm. So one thing that we could pull into the equation is more passion, more spontaneity. I like that this is so reliable, but that's the one flaw of Temperance, is that it's overly careful. So try to center yourself. Don't be afraid to take a step in a new direction. Gentle steps, little steps in that direction will make progress over time. It's angelic, maybe not as illustrated here, but this is an angel card. And so as one of maybe 4 angel cards that's coming to mind, you may feel an absolute either like divine connection with someone or this instinct, it's time for this. That is guides and spirit coming through trying to pull you in the right direction. And there could be a deep karmic connection with somebody. So whether it's the Lovers, the Judgment card, Temperance, all of those are angelic and all of those are pivotal cards. So I do feel like you're protected and connected. Just trust the instinct and don't be afraid to move forward, okay? All right. Focusing now on Leo, for those of you that are looking for love, you heard me go, ooh, when I got this. The 3 of Cups is good. So with the 3 of Cups, it's a perfect time to mix, to mingle, to meet new people, but don't expect it to get overly serious too quickly. Part of the 3 of Cups and the joy of the 3 of Cups is courtship, partnership, and testing the waters, which is kind of what we just talked about with Temperance. Have fun in that in-between zone. And there may be, for some of you, a couple of potential partners that are coming in the mix. Because sometimes when you're dating, there might be 2 dates in a week, and you're trying to figure out, okay, I just went on a couple dates. Who do I feel the connection with the most? So I'm also getting that liminal space. Try not to have a dance card that's too full, or you may find yourself in a situation where it's just messy. So nothing wrong with having a couple dates in a week, but like try to figure out where's the connection and then be honest with yourself and with that other person, and that'll help you out. But I do see a flurry of activity. Even if you're shy, it's a good time to get out there because it's going to be easier than it was in the past. And part of it is having fun and not taking yourself or the whole experience too seriously. One thing that I have fun now, many, many years later, is I can look back at like a bad date from 15 or 20 years ago, and I can talk to a friend and we can laugh at the silliness of it. Like, I think we've all had terrible first dates, terrible third dates, just terrible dating experiences, and it's a universal norm. So if we can look at it as this ridiculous endeavor that we sometimes go through, and then there's like this needle in the haystack where it's perfect or really great, like it's worth all of those bad stories for the one or two that are really, really good. So you have to kind of build up a thicker skin in dating and just know that it's an adventure. It's a sitcom sometimes. All right. If you're single and happy, well, then you're surrounded by love, or there's a strong connection coming in. Four of Wands, like I said, isn't just love. It can be the best friend energy. It can also be chosen family. So there are people in my life as a friend, absolutely no romance whatsoever, but I love them as if they were like an aunt or a father or a mother or a sister or a brother. And it's that type of love, the same type you would have like with your pet. Love is not one size fits all, and sometimes it's like, I see you, I love you, I like you in my life. That kind of love, not like, let's go to bed together. So for some of you, there is that kind of deep connection that is possible right now, which is why this is a reading for everyone. We're going to look at different states. This is very advantageous in business because this is someone who shares a vision and wants to put in the same amount of work as you. Definitely partnership energy here. Partnership, unconditional love, and the ability to really see things in a very similar way. And I've had the pleasure of and the privilege of having a couple of best friends at different points in my life, whom I still keep in touch with, although we're all on our different paths, but they're still a best friend and they're still my family. So for some of you, you could make this once in a lifetime kind of connection. And now's the time to put the energy in there. There could also be a friendship that goes into the romantic category, but I definitely was looking at this more platonically. Okay? Beautiful stuff, Leo. So far, probably one of my favorite 3-card pulls. All right, we're going to now take a look at Virgo. What's going on with you, Virgo? In love, in relationships. Okay, those in a present relationship, interesting. Those that are looking for love, and those that are single and happy. Lots of reversals coming through for certain signs. So let's see, we just looked at, we're on Virgo now, yes. So Virgo, for those of you that are currently in a relationship, Judgment's a very interesting card. I'm gonna pull the traditional one while we're talking. This is a chance for you to either level up or maybe move in a new direction. And there could also just be this moment where you're wondering, like, is this what I want? And it's not always marriage. So you could just be in a relationship for a long time and maybe feeling that stagnation. Okay, so here's your traditional card. We see souls rising up from the dead, and we see a call to action and judgment. It's one of the angelic cards, which is why I wanted to pull this version of it. So in a karmic relationship, it is just the better or the worse, till death do us part, that kind of energy. You know, just a sidebar on that, I think we should relook at how we create marriage vows, because I met someone, it's been like 10 or 15 years, but there was a vow like loving him until the end of time, and I had to actually go back and remove that because it's too final, and it came back to haunt me this life. I'm like, what was past version of me like 3,000 years ago thinking? That's not what I wanted. So I think we just to love and celebrate or love and cherish is enough. We don't have to say until you die or I die or until the sun no longer exists. Let's not put these sort of like unhealthy lengths. Just say you'll figure out your own vows, but be careful. That's what I'm seeing. Be careful about the vows, and also be careful about like prenups and agreements like that, because I'm very much getting contracts as I'm looking at this card. So look at the contracts, protect yourself, and be realistic. If it doesn't feel right, don't sign it, because marriage is a contract. So make sure that you're both pulling your part, you're getting your fair share, especially if you're looking for a divorce. I don't know why, but it's all contracts in my head when I'm looking at this. Okay, the other piece. One or both of you may be shedding your skin and entering into a different part of your life. Maybe someone is recently retired, or someone lost a parent, or graduated. Something pivotal that's shifting the way that they're showing up. Ideally, in a relationship, this is great because you are there to see the process, see the growth. Sometimes it's a little tricky because it's a different person. You married one person and now they've changed. If you're not changing with them, or if they've changed beyond what feels comfortable for you, that's the conversation to have with yourself and with them. But ultimately, this is growth. It's a penultimate card in the suit, so it could show that you're ready for a really pivotal moment where things are going to break through. Even just like a birth of a child. Judgment could be coming through because it's like, are we going to do this? We're going to do this. Are we going to buy this house? We're going to buy this house. Are we going to move? We're going to move. So it's the acceptance of a decision that's been made beneath the surface, but an articulation and an engagement with that internal knowing that isn't always easy. You know it before you do it. You know it before you say it. There's disbelief when judgment is reversed. There is a shiny, beautiful day that awaits you, as illustrated here. So whether you're doing it with your partner or on your own, I see this sort of silver lining or beautiful sky ahead, okay? So hopefully that helps. Let's move on to those that are looking for love. Okay, if you're looking for love, different places and spaces. So the Hermit in reverse is saying wherever you are, either you're not feeling seen, or you're not feeling like you can kind of step out, or you might just be spending too much time on your own. And this card is encouraging a break of that sort of schedule. It also feels like you like your own company, and when you find somebody new, they need to have the same vibe. So maybe it's like two people that have been divorced that are getting back together and know now, not like the divorcees, but you're like, okay, we've both done this separately before. Now we know what we're looking for. I need some space. You need some space. We're okay. So I'm getting like two introverts or two people that definitely know that they have boundaries. And maybe it's like two only children, whatever. There's something where it's going to work because of that, but it is important to find someone who doesn't punish you for wanting space. You want the togetherness, but you want the space. So I'm getting, it's not paradoxal, and it's not an oxymoron. It's someone that respects boundaries, space, and limits. It feels like that's what's needed. Some of you are having a hard time just getting out there. Again, with the confidence building, because the Hermit in reverse, it's cloaked, but it's hiding this beauty, right? This is like the wizard of the deck, or whatever the equivalent, the sorceress of the deck, because it contains all of this knowledge, this life experience, and there's a lot to love, but there's difficulty sometimes putting yourself out there. So just validating it. But if you find someone, the Hermit energy is fantastic. That is someone who, it's easy peasy. It's kind of like my dog. My dog's a little bit of a hermit. He needs my attention when he needs it, but the rest of the time he's in the other room, gently keeping an eye on me. He doesn't need to be on my lap all, 24/7. So anyway, let's move on to those that are single and happy. So we have a Page of Swords in reverse. Ask questions in this moment in time. Get clarity. You're slowing down just a little bit, whether it's the Page or the Knight reversed. They have slightly different nuances. The Knight is about speed and movement, and it can be like actions, but the Knight of Swords in reverse can be a little bit more about communication. Think before speaking, listen more than you speak, and then get in and out of key conversations. There may be a new air sign that's coming into your life, but more than anything, it feels like this is a moment for you to put pen to paper and create some goals, to initiate some progress through your communication, like a text, a phone call, an email, and things are going to start to take flight quickly, which is why I think it is important to also ground and prepare yourself for that inevitability. Working on just speaking in general, because sometimes we are told in points of our life that our voice doesn't matter, not to speak up, to talk more like someone else. Whatever it is about the volume, authenticity, or energy of your voice that might have come through in the past, I think it's really important to know that you deserve to be able to express yourself. So find a way that feels right for you, Virgo. Okay? Beautiful energy. Okay, so we're going to move on now to Libra. For Libra, I'll change the deck. Let's see what's coming forth for Libra. Okay, well, we just got a volunteer. All right, let me see. Somebody was asking a question here. Yeah, so this is Sun, Rising, and Moon, and Venus. So you can use it for that. You can look at someone that you love in your life. It's a pretty flexible reading. Much like you would see in my regular spread, but we're just looking at love right now. Like nothing else today but love. And then I might pull a couple of bonus questions at the end too. So stick around. But I'm going to do a little pulse check on each sign. This is also my way of saying thanks for giving me the ability to do 2 months at a time. I'm going to need that again because I might have 1 or 2 mini moves in the future. So I'm trying to give you bonuses, which is kind of fun for me too. I don't do these. And I'm like, why don't I do these? Love can be fun. We're going to look at love. All right, Libra, if you're in love, 5 of Wands, avoid unnecessary conflict. Easier said than done, but in many times you could just ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth me pointing this out or me saying this? Sometimes it's not worth it. There may also be this sort of general question of like give and take. Is the other person willing to put in the same work, or is it feeling just a little bit lopsided? Sometimes this reminds me of the visual of a hamster wheel, where the hamster runs and runs and runs. Cats have these now too, I've seen them. But they're running, but they're not making progress. So you have to kind of take a step back from that and see if the other party steps in, see if you still want to go back, or if it's just work. All relationships are work, but they shouldn't feel like a job. That's my bumper sticker for the day. It's give and take, and you should both be putting in equal amounts of work, okay? And together you can get more done. So we actually see people protesting here, and it shows the power of teamwork. But if you're constantly being met with the conflict or the protest from the partner, then it's more of a message of, okay, we might need someone else to help bring some clarity in this situation. I also feel like work might just be taking you both away from each other. There's just too much work in general, so finding a way to infuse some fun or some frivolity into the equation would be great too. All right, so that's Libra for those of you that are in a relationship. I mentioned I saw like ships in the night, almost like 6 of Swords energy. So now as I'm looking at those of you that are looking for love, it's on the heels of a move. It could be a physical move from one place to another. It could be travel. It could be figurative. I'm moving on, I'm moving up, I'm moving out. So a movement brings in someone new, but the move has to happen first. The shift, the change, the action then brings in the person who's kind of waiting for you to get through that phase. This is one of the past life cards. So Judgment, 6 of Swords, Death, all of those can represent someone from the past. So there could be someone from this lifetime or a past lifetime. Again, there's a resolution of karma that keeps coming through thematically as I'm looking at all 12 zodiac signs. There may just be too much going on in your life. This can also just be you're going from A to Z, all these different places all the time, and it's like, I need to slow down because if I am going to look for someone, if I'm on the go constantly, it's going to be difficult. So there's that message for some of you as well. Okay. Finally, single and happy Libra. Well, here you come through perfectly aligned. This is you, Libra, King of Swords. Interestingly enough, look at what's going on here. So there's a power grab. There is a person in the water taking the sword. Don't let someone steal your thunder. Don't let someone silence your voice. The early bird gets the worm in this situation too. So if there's something that requires action, movement, or a decision, Spirit's saying, what are you waiting for? Because it's a window that could close. Doesn't mean that another window won't open, or this might not in the future come through, but you're going to miss this window through hesitation, inaction, or whatever, procrastination. Also, if that isn't what you agreed to, grab that sword and say, wait a second, this isn't what we talked about. This can be a lawyer, or it can be contractual again. So just say, this is what I want. This is how it's going to go. Give me my sword back. Let me see if there's anything else. I also love that this particular king is in a boat. So I, from a channeled message perspective, just saw ships in the night, and it came through, interestingly enough, for the first sign that I read. But I do feel like travel, movement, and change is going to be so important. People are interested in what you have to say. For those of you that have a public speaking engagement, you might be writing a book, or you're just finding it easier to talk, this King of Swords is saying, absolutely, now is the time to embrace that. So overall, pretty good energy for Libra. Let's move on to Scorpio. I don't know why we changed camera on that one, but I'll fix that in a second. Okay, for Scorpio, let me go ahead and shuffle the cards, and then I'll fix the camera setting. All right. Probably because I haven't done this in a while. It's been eons since I've done another all signs reading. Nine of Swords keeps making a lot of appearance. That's interesting. All right. So let me see if I can't fix the camera. There we go. Much better. So for Scorpio, we're going to start off with those of you first that are in a relationship. We have Hanged Man energy in the reverse position. So don't rush it. You're actually in a pause right now. You and or your partner wanted to do something, but life stepped in. Maybe financial situations are changing your opinion. Maybe there's something in your health or your partner's or at work or environmentally, whatever it is. If we look at the Hanged Man in the upright position, you're supposed to pause to look and make sure that you're ready. There might be something here that needs your attention. There might be something better on the horizon. So the delay or the pause is beneficial, albeit annoying. Also, there may just be some procrastination or hesitation with one or both of you to move forward, and that's still reason to pause. So if the other party isn't ready, then it's not the right time. And if it's consistently not the right time for them, that's also something to look at, because if you've been in a long-term relationship and there's always cold feet, and there is a focus on this card with the foot. So if someone always has cold feet or concern over something, it's sort of like, will it ever be the right time? You can definitely pause now, but if it's been pause after pause after pause, then there's no action, there's no movement. So that's the slight nuance to that, is if someone has cold feet consistently, then you deserve something with a little bit more warmth and movement. But there might be a different way or a better way. So I think for Scorpio, for many of you, this is just a chance to look at the alternatives and look around things. In a relationship, the Hanged Man can also just be one person that is pulling more weight than the other. And the other one, it's kind of like, I'll just say what Spirit's telling me. It's kind of like you're pulling an anchor or pulling dead weight. And we don't want that. We want someone who, or like the Strength card where you're forcing the action. There should be this general sense that, yeah, let's do this. We all have days where we just want to lay on the couch, or we need to take care of ourselves. But if there's constantly a nitpicking, then we've entered into more of a parental energy. Most of you, it's just a pause. It's a beneficial pause, but I wanted to give a slight nuance since I'm reading for a larger audience. Okay? I hope that resonated and helped. Okay, for those of you that are currently looking for love, here's what we've got. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Seven of Pentacles symbolizes healing, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse is saying a little bit more needs to be done. It can be financial healing, it can be emotional healing, it can also be the body. I've broken a few bones in my lifetime, and one thing that I learned is it always took an extra couple of weeks, longer than I thought, before you finally were able to put some weight on that foot or whatever broken body part it was. And then one day it just felt better. But I knew not to push it, because as I was healing sometimes, I'd be like, oh, now I got to ice it. There's some swelling. I overdid it. So in the same way that if you throw out your back or have had a broken bone or some sort of healing in your life, know your limits. Don't overdo it. And with finances in particular, I actually feel like there's a call to clean up finances, contracts, and agreements. Because then when you enter into a new relationship, you'll find someone also who has done the same work with respect to not trying to put themselves out there too much. I believe that this is like a distant cousin to the Seven of Swords. It's learned the lesson, but what happens sometimes is it will say yes to everyone, this personality on the card. And at some point, it breaks. So there was a rubber band on the Two of Pentacles. you still kind of have some of that elasticity that's coming forth here. So why am I bringing it up? I think that there's too much on your plate right now, or there's going to be more of an investment of time that's necessary to either sustain the new relationship that you might be meeting or to just make yourself more available. So there's all of that. But even though we're looking at love, finances and health came through. Take that as you will, Scorpio. If you're single and happy right now, when was the last time you did something for you? Because, I mean, I've felt a little bit of this, especially over the eclipse, and I'm not Scorpio, but this can be insomnia or waking up with this feeling, okay, I have to shift. I have to change directions. What I do for myself when this happens is I'm like, tomorrow's the day that I'll look at it. In order to make tomorrow effective, I need another hour's sleep tonight. Nothing is going to be solved by me taking out my phone or my mobile device and stressing about this at 3 a.m. So don't allow fear, stress, or anxiety to take the wheel. Education, research, and a little bit of rest is really important. So whatever you can do for stress management right now is really, really important. Quality and quantity of sleep and downtime, also very important. The silver lining to the Nine of Swords, if you're single and happy, Scorpio, is that things are better than you think. And it's about releasing the stress and just letting tomorrow be a clean slate. That's the big message that I'm getting with all of that. Look also at the people that are in your life, since we're looking at relationships. How do you feel when you're done with a conversation? Do you feel like this? Like, oh my God, that stressed me out. If there are people around you where there's kind of like this imaginary black cloud above them, then it might be time to create better boundaries. I think back to a long time ago in college, there was someone that I knew where, I kid you not, every day was a disaster. Like, you know, on the way to school, they had a flat tire. And then the very next day, like a lamp exploded in the kitchen and caught fire. Or they tripped, fell, broke their knee. I'm like, how can this happen every day? How can so many things be happening? You're stressing me out. So there could be someone around you that just, that quote, the meme, am I the drama? They're the drama. Yes, they are the drama. Are they the problem? Yes. So you might need to separate yourself from that a little bit, because you can't fix someone that loves to be the drama, because that is who they are. So create some distance and space and realize they're going to figure it out. That the sun rises tomorrow. Whatever their drama is, it's their drama, not yours, Scorpio. Okay? We're going to move on now to Sagittarius. We'll change next. Let's see. All right, Sagittarius. Let's see what's coming through in love. All right, Sagittarius. For those of you currently in a relationship, looks pretty good. We have the Empress. I love that she has stars in her eyes. So I'm still feeling this connection between you and your partner. Looks good. The Empress can be a mother. So there may be increased focus on children in your life, existing or maybe expanding the family, or even a fur baby. Maybe some of you are thinking of adding a little pet in your life like I have in my background here. All of those things are a part of this. This is also a moment where you might be, okay, he's just chilling out. This might just be a moment where some of you are deciding to do something for yourself, go back to school, maybe to start something new. I encourage all of the aforementioned. One thing that I like about the Empress is she has gotten to a point in her life where there's almost like this unapologetic energy, take me or leave me. And that is one of the nice things that comes with age and experience is, you know, I don't have to prove myself. And with a lover, a friend, a partner, ostensibly, you can be your authentic self. If it's a bad day, then they're okay with that. Like, do your thing. Let me know how I can help you out. And what can I do? All the stuff that we talked about. So I just feel like comfort is the word that's coming through. And you may have a partner that also comes through and they're very giving. Whether they identify as male or female, I don't read gender in the cards so much. So there might be someone in your life that's nurturing. That's what she represents. She did not come through reversed. When she's reversed, sometimes she's a little controlling. But in the upright position, she still knows what she wants. So I definitely am picking up on the energy of someone who you just don't trifle with. But overall, I love the Empress and I love what she has to represent. So be strong, be vulnerable, be there for each other. It's good. It's good. Okay. I was talking about the rubber band and the Two of Pentacles. Lo and behold, we got it. So for those of you that are looking for love right now, you could be pulled between two options, two people. You could also have too little time on your plate. And it's important also, if you do have a couple people that you're dating, to make a decision, because juggling it eventually gets messy. So just a little bit of a reality check there. Outside of love, I will see other things because the cards represent other things. Financial healing thematically keeps coming through. It's more intense with the Two of Pentacles. So for some of you, you really need to deal with either like an investment, a project, something that's expected of you that has to be delivered first. Once that has been delivered, then you can move forward to the next endeavor. What do you want? That's the other thing that Spirit is asking you, because it can show up better for you if it knows what you want. But if you're kind of, maybe this, maybe that, it's an indecisive card. It's a little more decisive than Two of Swords, which has no idea. Two of Pentacles is like, well, maybe this or maybe that. The more you focus, the cleaner and clearer the sort of delivery of your vision can be. So take some time to know yourself too, of course. There just might be too much going on in your schedule with the Two of Pentacles, so clear that up first as well. Okay, single and happy. We get a lot of stress cards for those. I mean, this is a stressful moment in time, so I get it. The Eight of Swords is a prison of thought. So sometimes we imagine it can only be this way. Self-fulfilling statements and prophecies. We want to be thoughtful about how we use thoughts and words. So when you say something like, I have bad luck in, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to put that on myself, but we sometimes say that we can't achieve something in love, in work, in finance, whatever. So turn it around. What if that's done? What if that chapter is over? What if this is the last experience that I have to have like this? And what if it's better than I think? Both the Eight and the Nine of Swords usually are better than you think. This one, you don't have enough information. The blindfolds mean that there's more to see and hear. There's more to intuit. It's also saying go into your head and heart and figure it out there. The external can be deceiving, especially now as we get into the world of AI and newfound technology that's not always the best. We have to trust our instincts now more than ever. This isn't what we all signed up for. I feel like people never watched or read like the dystopian futurist stories about technology, but I'm on a rant. We'll talk about that another time. But pay attention to signs and signals and trust your own instincts in this situation, and know that just because it was that way doesn't mean it always will be that way in love, in health, or in money, or in any aspect of your life. What Spirit's showing me, and I forget the word for it, but it's like that thing that you clap down at the end of a movie, end scene. That's what this is. They're just showing me end scene. So let it be the end scene, okay? Slate, it's a slate. So they showed me the slate, and it can be the end if you want it, if you will it to be. Thank you, Spirit. I needed the mental. I needed the mental image on that one. All right, Sagittarius, that's you. We're going to now move on to Capricorn, and let's see what's coming forth in love. For anybody that missed anything, it's all going to be on replay. This isn't a once and done. You can always scrub back to the beginning. We're still going to look at other things. Don't worry about it. And you'll have, I'll sit down after this and do all the timestamps. So give me a second. I'll have to cut out the beginning, and then I'll do timestamps later today. Anything live will always be on replay. All right, Capricorn. All right, another sign of many reversals. So let's look at this. Capricorn, if you're currently in a relationship, it is a feeling of not necessarily being seen. So the Hermit, here's what I'm getting on this one. Sometimes you're so good at doing something for your partner or vice versa that it gets taken for granted. And so one thing that you can do if you are the hermit, providing the light, providing the insight, always being there, step back a little bit. You can allow yourself to be missed on a certain thing. Or just, as I said earlier, tell the partner, I have to rest today. Please take care of this. Can you go pick up the kids? Can you go get the laundry? Can you take care of this for me? I'm done. And if they say no, say, well, then it's not going to get done. Okay, thanks. I don't know who's going to do it, but it's not me today. You can step back and show that I've been carrying that energy for a while. So there's that, very specifically, that I'm picking up on. The more nuanced message, though, is just to say I love you, say I appreciate you, and also let your partner know that you appreciate it when you receive that. There may also be a lot of difficulty, and one or both of you could be coming through as the lantern. I recently, a couple weeks ago, did a reading on the Hermit's Lantern, and the Hermit always holds the star. This is possibly one of the most beautiful Hermit cards because I always mention the Hermit is the star, but just covertly. They feel like they have to mute their light a little bit. They're hiding. Think of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, especially the second film where he, spoiler alert, but it's been out for like 20 years or something. But in the second film, there's a little bit of a rebirth moment where he levels up, if you will, and he becomes Gandalf the White. And there's this bright moment where he takes the robe off and it's just this light. So that is the Hermit. The Hermit always was that brilliant energy, but sometimes cloaks it. So don't take yourself or your partner for granted. Don't be afraid to show the path. If there's a little bit of sadness, hopelessness, or heavy emotions with the partner, say, I think we can sort this out. I think we can do this. Here's how. So you might be holding the lantern for them. But it's give and take. And if you're constantly doing it all the time, then the lantern gets depleted, the light gets depleted, and that's exhausting. In partnerships, you do not have to be the doctor, the accountant, the Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It for the other person 24/7. You're there for each other. So create that balance as needed. But ultimately, I love Hermit energy. Someone's just a little bit more quiet than the other person too. And I keep getting that, like, with this, there may be someone who wants to go to a party or wants to do this. Give and take. Sometimes if you're the introvert, you have to go with the extrovert. You'll probably have a great time. If you're the extrovert, sometimes you'll have to just watch the movie at home. And that's okay. You'll probably have a good time. It's going to be quality. So give and take. It can't be all one, or it's not all or nothing. That is a relationship. Compromise, the fine art of compromise. Okay, if you're looking for love, we have the Five of Wands. As I said, this is a time where, as you look at new relationships, yes, there's work, but it's not a job. So I'm going to repeat what I said earlier on that. There may be competition. This is interesting. Who are you competing with, though? This is what I'm seeing for some of you. There could be friends or family members that might be sort of getting to new pinnacles of success in their personal life. Maybe they just got engaged, or they just had a baby, or whatever. There's something, and you're looking at that and thinking, I want that. And I'm getting a competitive vibe. You're competing against nobody but yourself. If they try to flaunt something on you, bleh, that's not good. So be it. That's a friend of me, not a friend. For everyone else here, don't put so much energy into the search per se. Yes, you've got to put work into it, but if it becomes laborious, so let's say you've got a bunch of dating apps and you're constantly swiping and you're like, oh, I have to make something happen. It kind of like, it cuts off the oxygen to the ability for something organically to come through. So Six of Wands is next in the suit. I always like to look to that for advice. Four of Wands was the one before it. So lean on existing friends, Four of Wands. Focus instead on getting out and feeling like I'm good enough as is, with or without. And then when you are in that Six of Wands energy, you attract someone because they see, who's that person that's beaming? Who's that person that feels confident? I want to go talk to them. So we're working through this need to catch up or compete, or this work energy, like, oh, I got to find someone. I got to make this work. Or in a dating situation where you're trying to get the other party to answer. So let it go. That's actually what I'm getting here, is like, let go of the need, let go of the work, let go, full stop, and just show up as you. And if that's not enough, then it's not the right moment. We're looking for a month, so it can shift in the following month, okay? If you're happy and single, single and happy, we have the Two of Cups. Yes, you are. You're finding joy and contentment from other things. So we have this overlapping energy. There's a lot going on in work, in friendships, in other engagements in your life that are filling that sort of space nicely. You still could make a great connection. I've seen multiple cards in this single and happy that, like we saw, like a Four of Wands, right? Now we have the Two of Cups. These are still love cards. So there could be that deep platonic love. There could be deep familial love. There could be love that comes through even though you're not looking for it. So be it. Sometimes when you're detached, you get exactly what you need. But it's a great time to lean into that because this is ultimately super magnetic. So with Lovers and Two of Cups and Six of Cups and all of these sort of group cards where there's love and affection, you can use that to further certain things like work or also just make an impact with others and share the love. I like what I see here. It feels like you're turning a corner. Okay? Good energy, Capricorn. All right, well, let's move on to Aquarius and see what's coming forth for you. All right, for Aquarius, I want to switch to a different deck. So let me do that. Okay, we have a lot coming through for Aquarius. If you're currently in a relationship, interesting stuff. So we have Justice in reverse and we have the Queen of Swords. So Aquarius, you showed up as yourself. Justice. Is it what you want? So for some of you, it's decision time. Long-term relationship, maybe you haven't gone exclusive or gotten married or whatever, and you're deciding, is this what I want? Is this enough for me? There also might be something that's out of balance in the relationship. So Justice in reverse can just mean, hey, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what we signed up for, and you're almost kind of like creating an unspoken, well, it's a spoken agreement, but you're creating a casual agreement saying, can we kind of like both commit to this? And I have to read also what this means, which can sometimes be a separation or an end. So Justice in reverse can be saying, we did what we came to this planet to do. It's time to contractually split. So there could also be that kind of energy going on. Or a legal matter that you're both fighting for in your life. So maybe there's like someone that passed away and there's an administrator and you're fighting to kind of like make sure that you get what you deserve. But I do see like contracts and legality, and that has been a consistent theme as I've been looking at all relationships, but it's punctuated a bit for Aquarius. Now, you came through as yourself, Queen of Swords. Just be more outspoken. You can say yes or no confidently. Yes, I want this. No, I don't. You can also speak up when people act foolishly and say, this isn't what we agreed to. What's going on? She can be kind and clear. She probably should start with what's going on. I noticed that this happened and we said we were going to do this. Are you okay? Is there something I didn't know about? Was I not clear? All of those are good initial questions. The other person is meanwhile starting, it's like that little thinking symbol. They're like, uh-oh. But you started it with the assumption that maybe I missed something. So always a good way to lean into the Queen of Swords reversed. Did I miss something? So that we don't say it in a condescending way. Are you okay? Did I miss something? Was I not clear? So notice how if I say it neutral without any sort of, I thought we talked about this. What's going on? Like that is so much harder to deal with. So we'll step into it. But I do think that there might be something that needs to be sorted out. For everyone else, there's just a lot on your plate. You might have too much going on and your scales are out of whack. So you're going to step in and delegate and just say, like I've been talking about earlier, help me with this. I'm going to focus on this. Are we good? That kind of direct energy. Queen of Swords doesn't mince words. And as a fellow air sign, I'm always happy to see her. She gets a bad rap even in reverse, but you just want to be mindful of tone, time, and just also like if the person is ready to receive. Okay? Perfect. Get a prenuptial. If you are thinking of getting married, fight for equity if you're getting divorced. Fairness in contracts, not a bad thing. Should be a given. It makes the relationship easier. So whatever it is that you need to guarantee yourself from a legal perspective, get that. Could also just be, by the way, looking at wills and trusts. So if you're in a relationship and the other party is resistant to it, before my mom passed away, she was resistant to that, but I was like, we got to look at some of this stuff just so that it's easy for both of us and we don't have to have this conversation down the line. She eventually got better with that, but sometimes people don't want to talk. They think it's morbid. I'm like, no, if you love one another, you take care of it so the other party isn't left with a mess. So it's always good to look at insurance, contracts, wills, all that stuff. Sort it out if you love each other. Okay, single and looking. Yes, comma, but we're looking at some growth in your career and your personal development. There may be a shift of sort of like general, like there's this life change that's going on. There's seasons and reasons for everything. You may be single and looking, but I'm looking at something big that needs to start or stop first. The wheel, you can think of the wheels on the car, right? And now I have Tina Turner's song or the Creedence song, like the wheel and the, anyway, or like the Journey song. There's a bunch of songs about wheels. So anyway, whatever wheel is turning, we see that there's a need for us to kind of move in a new direction first, because you don't want to have to drag someone with you to that. You want to be in the sort of like throes of that change or movement. You might also simply be looking at buying or selling a house or fixing your finances, right? And again, contractually, as we're looking at stuff, looking at what that person wants. What is it that they're looking for? Whether it's starting a family, having a kid, buying a home. There's some trappings around that, some material trappings that you want to make sure that you're ready for as well. So Proud Mary and Wheel in the Sky, those are the two songs that I was referencing. Let's see if there's anything else with this. Just themes of worth, because the Wheel of Fortune in reverse could be the fallacy that I will find my completeness in someone else. Like they complete me. You complete you, they complement you. You want to find someone who really is kind of filling that role of friend and partnership, okay? Single and happy. Yep. Seven of Cups is about daydreaming. What's next? What's possible? What do I want to do beyond this? This is a perfect time to do some research, take a trip, talk to some other people. And because we're not worried so much about another partner, I'm fine with this. I would say one thing that you want to do with the Seven of Cups is put a little bit of a cap on how much, how far, how often you're doing this, because a little bit goes a long way. But if you stay in the energy of the soupy Seven of Cups too long, it can kind of like overwhelm you. So everything in moderation. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look at Pisces. I have a different deck over here that I want to use for my reach. I had to pick the one furthest away, but it was calling for you. All right, so we're looking at Pisces. Let's see what's coming forth. All right, Pisces, if you're currently in a relationship, what I was talking about with the Hermit reverse also comes through with this. There are things that are being left unspoken, or there are things that are being pushed underneath the rug that need to be elevated to just an honest conversation. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It's sometimes the peaceful path, the easy path, but it's not actually resolving the issue at hand. Usually it's better than you think when you articulate it. 9 times out of 10, your partner probably already intuited what it is you have to say. Other things, if there's things going on with you, health, finance, etc., better to talk about it and deal with it now. When you ignore 2 of Swords, it grows. We don't want it to go to the 9 of Swords. If you deal with it now, you can just have an Ace again and you're good. Or you can have a 6 of Swords or 4 of Swords. Like you can put it in a better direction rather than go all the way up to the stress cards. So it's about that. And then simple acts of kindness and gratitude. Thank you so much. There was a friend in my life that called the other day, and there's some challenges going on, and I just told them with gratitude a few things. I'm like, thank you for being kind. Thank you for offering. Not many people do that, and I see you, and I think you're doing great. in your life because of these qualities that you emanate. And the person didn't hear that often. So they said that meant a lot. And I felt guided to just say this before I even answer what you're asking me or respond to it. That was really nice of you. Thank you. You didn't have to say that or do that. People don't have to say that or do that. And they don't hear that often enough. So just simple acts of kindness and gratitude. You might even notice someone light up. Wow, that was amazing. Or I think you're amazing. Have I said that recently? If you never say it, they'll be like, what's wrong? What's going on? Are you dying? What's going on with you? So, I mean, enter it in normally, and you could just say, no, I've been thinking. We just really don't express love enough. They'll still say, who cloned you and put this new version of you in there? But like, it can be something that you train yourself into saying more. Say it authentically when you truly mean it and with no strings attached. And it will absolutely improve your life and other people's lives because they need to hear it. You need to say it. It's freeing. It's good. And that's what I'm getting with this. And if there is something that is unclear, unspoken, or ignored, bringing it to the surface. You've got this. You're Pisces, you're water, you're kind, you're empathetic. You'll be able to use your empathy to sort out a way to have the conversation, okay? If you're looking for love right now, the Prince of Cups or the Knight of Cups can actually be very good. It's the most obvious card that I've pulled for looking for love. There might be someone in front of you in the periphery or they're incoming. This is also you because we're looking at water, and it's saying get out there. Just get out into the world, mix and mingle. We don't have to, because a common theme, if I look at the other signs that I've read for, you get the benefit of that experience, is it shouldn't feel like work, it should feel easy. If I think of some of my favorite friendships, my favorite partnerships or favorite love interests, you knew from the first time you had a conversation, it's like, I like this person. I want to see them again. I hope they like me too. This is easy. And then they're happy to receive your message, and it's easy to make another date, and it's easy. So if it's easy, this is something to lean into. You don't need to pull a card if that happens. Someone has the same passion, the same receptive energy. It's kind of the opposite of what we were just talking about, where we were trying to pull it out a little bit. With this, it's just there. It's just flowing. We see heightened sensitivity right now, so be kind to yourself. There's a dolphin in the front. Again, playful and intelligent conversations are the key. And there may be a fellow water sign that's coming forth. All right, if you're single and happy, we have the Knight of Swords coming through here. Things are moving quickly. It's interesting that he has an eagle there instead of the traditional horses or sphinxes. What this represents is a need to stop and look at it from a different perspective, because the eagle needs to fly up and sort of see this from a new angle. Sometimes we get too much in this path from start to finish, and we're not taking time to review where we are and also to ask ourselves if we want to keep going. I recently had like a precognitive vision of a path and a choice that I was taking, and Spirit was like, it literally woke me up and it said, not now, not yet, pivot. I was like, oh, but thank you, Spirit. Because sometimes we need to have that in our life so that we don't go too far too fast or too far off path. So the only way to do that, besides having a psychic vision, is just to get up, get a different point of view and say, I think I'm headed this way. This is what's going on here. Why don't I do this? So reflection, review, and then things will actually take off quite quickly. This is an upright Knight of Swords. So once you're clear on the vision, I feel like it's just going to be a very busy month for you. Communication is effective and sometimes more so than you thought. Like it's rapid, the effect of that. You say something and it happens. You send a note and someone replies quicker than you thought. So be ready for that kind of action in your life. Fast movement, new things coming forth. Okay? All right. We've gotten through all the signs. I'd like to do a couple of just bonus things, and then we're going to wrap up because I have a commitment in half an hour, so I do have a time limit here. Plus, I feel like we've looked at everyone. So one thing that I'd like to do now is your person. Whoever it is that you want me to focus on, think about your person. and I'll tell you what, if you have a question about your person or if there's something that you need to know, it'll come through. Okay, let's go with the Oracle card first. It was a reversal of this, so we have instinct, nobility, and sexuality. So the instinct is saying, you know it, trust it, and if you don't feel ready for something, trust that too, because that's saying, I'm not prepared yet. So trust the initial impression, instinct, or intuition that comes forth. The sexuality piece. It's important for you when you're looking, especially if we're looking at a romantic person in our life, to make sure that you are getting what you need physically, emotionally, and yeah, if it comes to sex, making sure that you've created the boundaries and set the expectations. I mean, it's super straightforward here. And just that you see each other with respect. Whatever you have to say or do, like, do it with respect, okay? The Knight of Swords. It is a hasty card. So someone may have said or done something and they feel this sense of, did I say too much? Kind of like the Losing My Religion song, which is not really about religion. It's about a crush. It's about saying too much and worrying, like, have I just put my foot in my mouth? If you look at Michael Stipe talking about that, it's a turn of phrase used in like the Southeast, I think. Nothing that I ever used, but like, I lived on the East Coast a little bit, but I was like, really? Michael Stipe? I feel like that might have just been your community. But anyway, losing my religion, losing my head. Like, sometimes someone said something in a moment, and it's important to take a step back and let the other party marinate with that for a second. And it's good to know. Here's the thing. I'd always rather put myself out there and say what it is that I'm looking for, want, or don't want, than to live a life of regret or could have, would have, should have. And that is part of this. It is time to just kind of move forward. And if they're ready, they'll move forward with you. And if they're not, then they won't. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else for the Knight of Swords. So for your person, you may have a hard time speaking because they talk too much. They may have a hard time listening because they're on the go. There's also a travel element to this. So finding a time where they're slow enough and present enough to have the conversation or to kind of just spend some time with them, that's going to be the most important piece for that. I feel like we covered everything. Yeah? Let me know if there's anything that you liked, didn't like, questions that you might have. I'm kind of looking through the chat so far to see if I missed anything. I don't think so. Okay, good. So I will put timestamps a little bit later for this. And walk, for everybody that said if you don't have a person yet, I did 12 cards for that, single and happy. Like 12 times we pulled it for every aspect of your chart. So I feel like that was fully covered in a relationship, single and happy, or I'm sorry, single and looking or single and happy. But what we could do in the spirit of answering your question is, what can you focus on in your own life? Like, what's the relationship with self card? Because that will affect everything, whether you're in a relationship or looking for love. How is the relationship with you? So hopefully that was an okay way to take it, but that's what I'm inspired to do. So self-healing, self-love, etc. Let's see what's coming forth. I always try to like flex and bring this to a level that everyone can benefit from. All right, so we're going to do past, present, future on this one. All right, lots of stuff coming forth. So for everybody, focusing on the energy of self. The Three of Swords does represent knowing what you don't want. Whatever it was from the past that has happened, the sort of like, the bigger lesson in this is, I know who I am, I know what I don't like, I know what I do want, and I believe that I deserve it. That's the thing that has to happen with the Three of Swords, is you are worthy. You may not be ready just yet, but you are worthy of something better. And sometimes things have to fall apart so that you can find something that better supports you. There is a focus on the sort of energy of fear, anxiety, coulda, woulda, shoulda. So we see in this particular card the devil's coming through and whispering, basically the fears and anxieties. And it is better than you think. Things are better than you think in this moment in time. This can also be the energy of rebound. I was hurt. I don't want to be hurt again. I mean, it beautifully connects to this. Look at the 2 cups behind her. Look at the 3 broken cups or empty cups. In her mind, she's somewhere in between the 2 because we have that sailboat or boat. So this is a paradigm shift. We never want to sweep under the rug pain or disappointment. They are beautiful, amazing teachers. They're not fun, but they definitely teach us. So we are saying thank you, like the Ariana song, Thank You Next. I'm ready for the upgrade. I'm ready for the next chapter. But we'll do the gratitude piece. Thanks. And as I've said somewhere in the 12 signs that I was reading for, this can be the shift that you were looking for if you're ready to just let it go and say, we're done. We're done now. There is friendship, love, or opportunity, and it's closer than you think. It always is closer than you think. In this one, there's always water in the 5 of Cups, and there's a bridge. It's in her head right now. So the ability to connect to this is just saying, let's do it. And you may have to fake it a little bit until you make it. But whatever it is you're going to do next, it's closer, it's easier, it's less intense than whatever it is that you just went through. Paradigm shift and a hidden blessing. In both the 5 and the 4 of Cups, it's hidden or it's in plain sight, but the person isn't looking at it yet. So that's the little gift here, is that if you are unattached, if you are healing, there is something really cool. And it could be today, tomorrow, next week. It's within reach. It's not far reaching. It's not months and months and months. It's already somewhere in the environment. So look around, shake it up a little bit, and allow yourself to heal. This is a healing card. All 3 of these are healing. So if we look at the table one more time, that is disappointment. This is stress over a repetition of cycle, and this is releasing the cycle, but it's typically a card that shows a person crying a little bit. So sometimes we just have to get it out, to cry a little bit, and to let it go. All right, let me see if there's any other questions here. I think we're okay. I think this is good. So if you like this, let me know. When this goes on replay, leave a comment. And then if you'd like to see future readings for love, let me know what you'd like me to look at. And we can take it any way. This was just one way to do the signs. I typically, if you focus on a love reading, they're going to go through them all. But in a future reading, we could look at relationship in growth, relationship in crisis, new relationships. Like I can kind of look at the different types, but we'll save that for a future reading because I could do these more often, and I can do another one later this month potentially. So we'll see. Okay, that's everything for this. I'm now going to, throughout the rest of this month, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to be focusing on November and December. And the reason is because I was going to move overseas, but now I'm going to do just a move here in the States. And I might have to do a couple little ones before I land somewhere, just because there's a project, there's some paperwork stuff, and I'm like, it's too soon, too fast. So I'm trusting my instincts on that I have to pivot for a little bit. So that means that there's going to be a couple of moves, potentially, or one big interruptive move. So I need to make sure that we are covered. I'm really working on that this time around. And then I'm showing up more. And even when I'm moving or when I'm in the in-between, maybe I'll be on the patio doing a reading, just talking to you on my phone, we'll still come together. And I actually kind of like this because I feel like we have a chance to just be more often and do different things, because I like to do more than just all the monthly readings. I like the variety, and I'm sure you do too. If you don't, let me know. If you do, let me know. Comment. It's good for engagement. I don't even care if it's constructive criticism. All right, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for doing that. You can also show some love and support by putting a sticker with your comment, by becoming a channel member. One thing that I might do for channel members is just an open Q&A where we look at things that you're dealing with in your life. Maybe later this week, maybe next week, just for members. Or maybe I'll do one where everyone can access it, but only members can ask the questions. So I'll figure that out, and there'll be a future member perk coming through. So thank you in advance. Even if you're just showing love through the membership, it means a lot. If you ever need more information about me, you can go to my website, from which you can find all of my official platforms, but it's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on the major platforms. And I did give you a heads up, even though the time on YouTube was off, the time that I advertised was correct. I fixed it. I came online. But if you like, subscribe, and make sure that you also hit the bell icon. You should get all of these notifications. I'd like to take a couple moments now to say thank you. And again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this today. I don't do this that often, and it kind of depends on engagement. If you guys like it and comment and want more, I'll do more. It's kind of up to you and the algorithm, I guess, on some levels. All right, let me take a couple moments here to address the fans. Kristen, thank you for your sticker. Lady, thank you for gifting a membership. Leslie, thank you for your sticker as well. Deb, welcome as a new channel member. Raven, thank you for gifting a membership also. And I think that's everything. Did I say Kristen? Yeah, Kristen and Lady and Leslie. That's everything for today. I hope that you enjoyed this. See you soon. Like I said, I'll be rolling out the next set of videos pretty quickly here. And in the meantime, from my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. Let's do some silver confetti today. All right, take care of yourselves. Have a great one, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.